Hello my dear students. Today we are going to continue our general revision. We are going to discuss different types of questions and different types of problems on the syllabus, and be careful to write the chemical equation, which is symbolic balanced equation, writing the physical state of reactants and products. And so let us start. Choose the correct answer giving reason. The product of halogenation of nitrobenzene is orthochloronitrobenzene, parachloronitrobenzene, orthonitrochlorobenzene, metachloronitrobenzene. If you think the answer, yes, it will be metachloronitrobenzene, as the nitro group is meta-directing group. So this is the reason for that. The nitro group is one of the groups which directs the reagent to the meta position in the benzene ring. Next point. Iron reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to form what? Iron 2 chloride only, iron 2 chloride and the hydrogen gas, iron 3 chloride only, iron 3 chloride and the hydrogen. If you think about it, yes, it will be iron 2 chloride and the hydrogen gas. The reason for that, because iron reacts with dilute mineral acids to form iron 2 salts and the hydrogen, which prevents the formation of iron 3 salts. Next point. On adding sodium hydroxide solution to aluminum salt solution, we obtain what? White gelatinous precipitated soluble in excess of ammonium hydroxide, white color, yellow precipitated soluble in dilute acids, white gelatinous precipitated soluble in excess of sodium hydroxide. If you think about the answer, my dear student, on adding sodium hydroxide solution to aluminum salt solution, we obtain what? White gelatinous precipitated soluble in excess of sodium hydroxide, and here the reason for that is due to formation of sodium meta-aluminate, which is soluble in water. As the equation proceeds on the screen, AlOH all 3 plus NaOH gives NaAlO2 sodium meta-aluminate plus water is produced. The next type of question, my dear student, write the structure formula for each of the following: pyrogalol, glycerol. Here, pyrogalol, as shown on the screen, benzene ring attached to 3 hydroxyl group. Glycerol, as shown on the screen, the 3 carbon atom attached to 3 hydroxyl groups. The next type of question, my dear student, give reasons for each of the following. We detect the charging car battery by measuring the density of the acid using hydrometer. Because the density of the acid in the charged battery is 1.28 till 1.30 gram per cubic centimeter, so if it is less than 1.2 gram per cubic centimeter, the battery needs to be recharged to increase the concentration of the acid. Next point, the saturated monocarboxylic aliphatic acid are named fatty acids because large number of them are present in the form of esters with crystal. Next point, iron is paramagnetic substance. The reason for that, due to the presence of 4 unpaired electrons in 3d orbitals, which produce magnetic field attracted to the external field. The next type of questions, my dear student, for each hydrocarbon from column A, choose what suits column B. Column A, C3H8, C6H12, C5H8, C2H4, aliphatic alkene in column B, normal alkane, cycloalkane, aromatic compound, and aliphatic alkyne. If you are going to choose which is right, so C3H8 is normal alkane, C6H12 it will be cycloalkane, C5H8 it will be aliphatic alkyne, C2H4 is aliphatic alkene. Calculate the concentration of hydroxyl ions in 0.1 molar of ammonium hydroxide solution at 25 degrees Celsius. Given that the equilibrium constant equal 1.7 times 10 to power negative 5. The solution of the problem, my dear student, as the concentration of hydroxide ion equals square root Kb times C, so it will be square root 1.7 times 10 power negative 5 times 0.1, so equal 1.33 times 10 power negative 3 molar. Here, my dear student, next type of questions. By using the symbolic chemical equation only, explain what happens in each of the following cases. Addition of iron 3 chloride to ammonium cyanate, to ammonium thiocyanate. As the equation proceeds on the screen, FeCl3 plus 3NH4SCN, it gives iron 3 thiocyanate FeSCNO3 plus ammonium chloride 3NH4Cl. Reduction of ethanoic acid. As the equation proceeds on the screen, ethanoic acid or acetic acid CH3COH plus 2H2 in the presence of copper chromate CuCrO4 at 200 degrees Celsius, it gives C2H5OH plus H2O. The reaction of red hot iron with water vapor. Here, as the equation proceeds on the screen, 3Fe plus 4H2O at 500 degrees Celsius, it gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. Next point, the reduction of iron to oxide by using carbon monoxide gas. As the equation proceeds on the screen, FeO plus CO more than 700 degrees Celsius, it gives Fe plus CO2. Next point, the treatment of benzene, alkyl sulfonic acid with caustic soda. As the equation proceeds on the screen, which is the equation of detergent, R benzene SO3H, alkyl benzene sulfonic acid plus sodium hydroxide, it gives sodium salt of alkyl benzene sulfonic acid, R benzene SO3Na releasing water. Next type of question, my dear student. How can you differentiate practically between litmus and methyl orange indicators? By adding a drop of each of them to sodium hydroxide solution, where in the litmus the color of solution turns blue, in the methyl orange the solution color turns yellow. Methane and ethane. Here, by passing each of them in bromine water, which means bromine dissolved in carbon tetrachloride. Here in the methane, the red color of bromine water is not changed, while in ethane the red color of bromine disappears. The ethanol and tertiary alcohol, which is tertiary butanol. Here, by adding acidified violet potassium permanganate solution to each of them, then heating in water pass. Here, ethanol and tertiary butanol, the solution in ethanol is decolorized, while tertiary butanol, the solution not decolorized. Next type of question, my dear student. Write the scientific expression for. At constant temperature, the rate of chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of multiplication of the reactant concentration. If you think about it, yes, it will be law of mass action. Next point, compounds which are characterized by the presence of one or more carboxylic group attached to benzene ring. Yes, the answer it will be aromatic carboxylic acid. Next point, compounds in which the carbonyl atom or carbonyl group is attached to two alkyl groups and one hydrogen atom. Yes, the answer it will be secondary alcohol. Next type of question, my dear students. By balanced chemical equation, explain the effect of heat on iron 2 sulfate, iron 3 hydroxide. The effect of heat on iron 2 sulfate, as the equation proceeds on the screen, it gives iron 3 oxide Fe2O3 and sulfur dioxide SO2 and sulfur trioxide SO3 gas. The effect of heat on iron 3 hydroxide FeOHO3 is heated above 200 degrees Celsius. It gives iron 3 oxide and water is produced. Next type of question, my dear student. Write the ionic equation which represents the solubility of sodium chloride in water. As the equation proceeds, my dear student, when the sodium chloride is dissolved in water, it hydrolyzed into sodium ion and the hydroxide ion and the hydrogen ion and the chloride ion, as the sodium hydroxide and the hydrochloric acid are strong acids which are completely ionized in water. Next point, what are the tools used in titration process? Conical flask, pipette and burette. Next type of question, my dear students. By balanced chemical equation, how can you obtain the black ring compound from sodium nitrate? As the equation proceeds on the screen, 2NaNO3 plus 6FeSO4, sodium nitrate plus iron 2 sulfate plus 4H2SO4 sulfuric acid, it gives iron 3 sulfate and sodium sulfate plus water plus nitric oxide gas. Then FeSO4 plus NO forms the black ring compound, which is FeSO4.NO. Iron 3 chloride from black iron oxide. As the equation proceeds on the screen, Fe3O4 plus 4CO more than 700 degrees Celsius, it gives iron and 4 carbon dioxide gas are produced. Then iron plus chlorine by heat gives iron 3 chloride. The next type of questions, my dear student. Write the structure formula for each of the following. Ethyl hydrogen sulfate, 2-benzene. Here, ethyl hydrogen sulfate, my dear student, as shown on the screen, CH3CH2HSO4 or CH3CH2OSO3H. 2-benzene, as shown on the screen, CH3CH2 CH double bond CH3. Here, the next type of question, my dear students. Rewrite the following table, then fill in the spaces. Here the concentration of hydrogen ion, concentration of hydroxide ion, BH and BOH. Here the concentration of hydrogen ion 1 times 10 power negative 1. Here the concentration of hydroxide and BH and BOH. Here the BOH equals 13. Here the concentration of hydrogen ion and the hydroxide ion, here 1 times 10 power negative 5 and BH is 9 and the BOH is unknown. The solution of the table here, the concentration of hydrogen ion as shown on the screen, here 1 times 10 to the power negative 9 as times the hydroxide ion equal 10 to the power negative 14, and then here for the hydroxide ion concentration 1 times 10 to the power negative 13 for the same reason. You have to times the concentration of hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion to give 10 to the power negative 14, and here the BH negative log of concentration of hydrogen ion, so it will be 1, and here BOH as shown on the screen, it will be 5 as the negative log of concentration of hydrogen ion, or you can say 14 minus LBH. Next type of question, my dear student. Explain a practical experiment showing the effect of temperature on a chemical reaction in a state of equilibrium. Here, as shown on the screen, get a flask containing nitrogen dioxide gas which has reddish brown color at room temperature. As the equation proceeds, that happens inside the flask, 2NO2 molecule in equilibrium with its dinitrogen tetraoxide, and heat is released as the reaction is exothermic. So when the flask is in hot water, it becomes dense brown color because the reaction shifts in the backward direction according to Le Chatelier principle, forming reddish brown nitrogen dioxide gas. But when the flask in cold water, it becomes colorless because the reaction shifts in the forward direction, forming the colorless N2O4 as Le Chatelier principle. Next type of question, my dear student. From the following substance and tools: acidified potassium permanganate, aqueous caustic soda, hydroiodic acid, propene, benzene flame, write the balanced chemical equation to obtain secondary aliphatic alcohol. Here is the solution. As the equation proceeds on the screen, propene plus HI, hydroiodic acid, it gives CH3CHI CH3 to iodopropane. Then by alkaline hydrolysis, here the potassium hydroxide aqueous solution, it gives here CH3CHOH CH3 2 propanol, which is secondary alcohol, and releases potassium iodide. Name the obtained alcohol according IUPAC system, so it will be 2-propanol. Show by symbolic equations the oxidation of the product of this alcohol. Here, as it is secondary alcohol, so the oxidation by atomic oxygen released from potassium permanganate acidified by sulfuric acid, it gives acetone, CH3CO CH3 releasing water. Here, my dear student, how can you obtain benzamide from benzene? Write the symbolic equation and state the condition of the reaction. As the equation proceeds on the screen, when benzene reacts with methyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride and heating, which is Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction, it gives toluene and releasing HCl. Then, on oxidation of toluene by the presence of vanadium pentoxide 400 degrees Celsius, it will give benzoic acid releasing water. Then the benzoic acid, when it reacts with ethanol, which is esterification reaction in the presence of dry hydrogen chloride gas, it gives ethyl benzoate C6H5COO C2H5 releasing water. Then, when making ammonolysis reaction for ethyl benzoate C6H5COO C2H5 plus NH3, it gives C6H5CONH2, which is benzamide, and ethyl alcohol is produced. Next type of question, my dear students. How can you differentiate experimentally between each of the following? Sodium nitrate and sodium nitrite. Here, this is done by adding acidified potassium permanganate solution to each one. If the color disappears, the salt is sodium nitrite. But if the color doesn't change, the salt is sodium nitrate. The next type of question here, my dear student, in the following equilibrium state, half N2 plus half O2 gives in equilibrium NO, nitric oxide gas, and the reaction is endothermic as delta H is positive. What are the factors that favor the increase of the amount of nitric oxide? The solution here, my dear student, the increased concentration of the reaction, the concentration of reactant will increase, and also when the increase in the temperature of the reaction. Next type of question, my dear student, show by symbolic equation and writing the reaction condition how each of the following compounds can be obtained. The 3 oxides of iron from siderite. Here, my dear student, siderite is iron 2 carbonate. So, in heating gives iron 2 oxide FeO plus carbon dioxide gas. Then, iron 2 oxide on oxidation gives iron 3 oxide. Then, iron 3 oxide on reduction by carbon monoxide gas at 230 till 300 degrees Celsius, it gives a magnetic iron oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Next point, my dear student, chloroform from methane. Here, methane reacts with chlorine in the ultraviolet radiant or the 400 degrees Celsius. It gives methyl chloride and releasing hydrogen chloride gas. Then, the further reaction with 1 mole of chlorine in the ultraviolet light, it gives methylene chloride or dichloromethane and releasing the hydrogen chloride gas. Then, when reaction further with 1 mole of chlorine, it gives the chloroform or trichloromethane and releasing also 1 mole of HCl. Next point, 1,2-dibromoethane from ethanol. Here, on heating ethanol at 100 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Celsius in the presence of conc sulfuric acid, which is dehydration reaction, it gives ethylene and water is produced. Then ethylene, when reacts with bromine solution or bromine water in the presence of carbon tetrachloride as solvent, it gives 1,2-dibromoethane as shown on the screen. Here, next type of question, my dear student. Complete and rewrite the following statements after correcting the underlined words. On dissolving sodium acetate salt in water, the solution is neutral, and on dry distillation, it yields what? Here, on dissolving sodium acetate solution in water, the solution is alkaline, and on dry distillation, it gives methane. Next point, the common name of 1,2,3-trichlorotoluene is picric acid, which is in what used here the solution. The common name of 2,4,6-trinitrophenol is picric acid, which is used in the treatment of burns. Next type of question, my dear students. If you are provided with the following compounds: distilled water, ethylene, caustic soda, potassium permanganate solution, how can you prepare the following compound? A dihydric alcohol by writing the symbolic equation and the name of this reaction. Here, ethylene glycol, which is Bayer reaction. As the equation precedes on the screen, C2H4 plus H2O plus atomic oxygen in the presence of alkaline potassium permanganate, it gives ethylene glycol, which is CH2OH, CH2OH. Here, what is the role of each of the following? Hot zinc powder in converting phenol into benzene. Zinc powder acts as reducing agent. Here, next point, ethylene glycol as antifreeze substance in car radiators in cold countries. Yes, it forms hydrogen bond with water molecules and prevent their combination with each other in the form of ice crystals. Next type of questions. Write the scientific expression for each of the following. It is the quantity of electricity when it is passed for 1 second through a solution of silver ions will precipitate 1.118 milligram silver. Yes, if you think about it, my dear student, yes, the answer it will be ampere. Next point, possession of organic compounds for the same molecular formula but their difference in physical and chemical properties due to their difference in the structure formula. If you think about it, yes, it will be isomerism. Next point, It is the quantity of electricity produced when the intensity of the electric current is 1 ampere passes through any conductor for 1 second. If you think about it, yes, the answer it will be Coulomb. Next type of question, my dear student. Give reason for. Ethyl iodide is preferred than ethyl chloride in the preparation of ethanol. The reason for that, because the hydrolysis of ethyl iodide is easier than the hydrolysis of ethyl chloride. Next point, butanoic acid is monobasic while phthalic acid is dibasic. Support your answer with a structure formula for each. Because butanoic acid contains 1 replaceable hydrogen atom while phthalic acid contains 2 replaceable hydrogen atoms. As shown on the screen, this is the structure formula of butanoic acid C3H7COOH and the phthalic acid, which is benzyl ring attached to carboxyl group which is on adjacent carbon atoms. Next type of questions, my dear student. Explain briefly how the Detergent Act. The answer: when the detergent is dissolved in water, their molecules rearrange themselves where the hydrophobic tail of each molecule is directed toward the dirt and the textile and adhere with them, while the hydrophilic head are directed towards water, so the detergent molecules surround the dirt completely. So with any mechanical rubbing, the textile and dirt repel each other because both of them carry positive electric charge. So dirt is separated from textile. Next one, apply Markovnikov rule to the addition of halogen acid to propene. Write the symbolic equation. The solution: on adding hydrogen acid to propylene, on adding the halogen acid to propylene, the hydrogen atom is added to the unsaturated carbon atom which is rich in hydrogen, while the halogen atom is added to the other carbon atom which is attached to smaller number of hydrogen atoms, which is poor in hydrogen. Thus, 2-bromopropane is formed. As the equation proceeds on the screen, propene plus hydrogen bromide, it gives 2-bromopropane. Next type of question, my dear student. In the following equilibrium reaction, iron 3 chloride plus ammonium thiocyanate gives iron 3 thiocyanate and ammonium chloride. Explain the effect of increasing the concentration of iron 3 chloride to the color of the solution. The answer: if the excess iron 3 chloride is added, the red color of the solution increases, which indicates the formation of excess of iron 3 thiocyanate. Next type of question, my dear student. What is the role of each of the following? Analytical chemistry in medicine field. Measurement of active ingredients in drugs, analysis of sugar in blood and urine, and many other industrial products. Next point, the compounds of peroxide on heating acid under pressure to produce polyethylene. It acts as initiator for the polymerization reaction of ethene. Next type of question, from the following organic compounds: benzoic acid, dimethyl ether, ethanol. Write the name of the compound which contains carbonyl group, ether group. The solution here, the compound which contains carbonyl group is benzoic acid, and the compound which contains ether group is dimethyl ether. Next type of question, what is the name of the compound which forms aliphatic ester? The compound in which forms aliphatic ester is ethanol. My dear students, I hope you understood all the questions and problems that we discussed today. So till we meet again, my best wishes for you.